You may be wondering today, what is the difference between Batman and Superman? Have you ever asked yourself that question?
All the time.
But I can tell you, you know what? Superman has superpowers, but Batman is a simple, ordinary man like you and me, who's been able to just get tools. And by getting tools, he's been able to now become a superhero, just like you and I can become. So this is what we have done at Dream Big Projects. We have come up with an app. And our app gives young children the opportunity to become superheroes, just like Batman. I want to welcome you today. My name is Ignatius Munemba. I know you might be thinking, hey, is this really Batman or not? It's not. My name is Ignatius. And I'm so happy to be here. I want to share with you what we've been doing at Dream Big Projects. I'll get right into it. Just give you a bit of background. How is career guidance so important when it comes to education? We have so many graduates who are finishing and then asking themselves, now what? I focused on my O-levels, I focused on my A-levels, but nobody ever took time out to ask me, what can I do with this education? And this is what we've done. We then looked at a second problem. The second problem we looked at is we've got so many kids who are in school, but who want to achieve great things like going to do medicine or going to do floristry. But here's the problem, we don't have enough educational tertiary institutions here in Zimbabwe. What are they going to do? Where are they going to study? So we took those two items and we said, you know what? Here's what we want to do. We want to help young teenagers, 12 to about 19. Let's give them an opportunity to get information. Half of us make decisions without enough information. And half of us, as it says, you know, 2/3 of Zimbabwe's graduates are not working in the field that they studied. So we said we want to make a difference of that. And here's our solution. Dream Big Careers app. It's on Android as we speak, but this is what you'll see when you download. We're linking education to the marketplace, the classroom to career opportunities. As you can see there, we've given 3 free subjects, art, biology, and languages. And then the other ones are locked for commercial reasons. Now, if you click on art, this is what you're going to get. You are going to be able to see the careers that you can do if you're good at art. And if you dig a bit further, in fact, it also has a link to universities. If you dig even further, each career tells you the work you're going to be doing as a graphic designer, the conditions that you will be doing, for example, as a graphic designer, getting in, what degrees or subjects do you need, training, getting on, and it's going to give you recommended universities or colleges. This is information you'll be able to get on the app. We also, on the purchase side, you'll be able to purchase the additional ones that I showed you as locked at $1.49. We've connected with Pay Now right now, and it's working, and the beauty of why we did that is we said we need to be able to tap into the local market and still tap into the global market. So you've got your telecash, EcoCash, and all the other payments. But you might be wondering and saying, you know, Ignatius, look, you can get that information on the World Wide Web. Come on. I mean, that information is readily available. I mean, you can search for universities that you want to go to. So come on, what's the deal? Why do I have to get your app? Well, this is what we said. We said, you know what? Not everywhere can you get education that links subjects to career opportunities. Not everywhere do you then get the career opportunities detailed, customized to what you want to do, giving you what subjects you need, the training you're going to require. And not everywhere does it actually link to something where you begin to ask yourself if you want to do that. We are hitting, our app is hitting the sweet spot. We said to differentiate ourselves, we said, hey, let's give everybody at their fingertips 500 different options. Before you start spending all that money on the expensive universities, you know, let's not gamble on investing on whether your child's sure or not sure. Let's move on to the next slide. But here's what we've also decided to do. On the marketing and the financials, we've said we've got about 2 million market in terms of children, parents, and teachers. We looked at this and we said 350,000 kids are writing on A-level. And not all of them have the capacity to have the devices that we're using. We need smartphones for people to be able to use this. So what we did is we said, why don't we look at the 1 million smartphone devices, which is what we've used as a guide, and we only want to aim for 2% of that. We said in our first year of trading, we just want to aim for 20,000 people to download this app and to buy 2 subjects. So we're aiming for 2% of the current devices that are currently in the market. We go to the next one. This is how we're doing. We're saying $3 per client, $60,000 is our target for next year. But we also said by the time we get to 20,000, we also want to approach universities because they want to be able to use our platform to then be able to market their universities for placement. These are some of the partners we're working with. We're working with Astro. Astro we've already agreed with them to make sure that on their devices, you may have seen we said 20,000, they are already selling devices as we speak. So instead of waiting to get onto the devices in this room, we said it's best for us to actually get the devices, our app uploaded to new devices as they're being sold. We'll talk about ZB, we've got Starfin as a partner as well, and Bank ABC as well. Move on to the next slide as we... This is a team. You know, Batman also needs a team. You know, he doesn't do things by himself. He's got to have a team that's researching and working and making sure that, you know, when the Batmobile is ready to go, it's going. So we've got a team, and that's our team. Hilda de Villiers is our branding and social media partner in South Africa. Tafadzwa is Astro, they're the people who actually developed the app for us. And Anis Munengwa is the finance and admin person who is responsible for that as well. Now, as I close, you might be saying, you know what? Batman is a bit of a fake, fictitious, not a real world sort of scenario. You know, Gotham City doesn't even exist. But we're in the real world. And what our mission is at Dream Big Projects is ultimately to inspire people by giving them the tools for career guidance to then become like a superhero like Batman. I thank you.
Well done, Superman. Just a quick one. You're talking about targeting 2% of the market on any device. And right now you only have this app on Android device. When will you have it on the other platforms? Because obviously not everyone has Android, but people have many different platforms.
True. In fact, what we did is to just launch, we needed to start somewhere. And looking at the fact that Android is this is Tafadzwa, my developer, software developer, who's with me to answer any questions. I'll let him answer that as well. But what we realize is it's best to get onto Android. Android does have the fastest growing market for now. We said, you know, let's get onto that platform. Let's get our app there. We are going on to iOS by 1st of December. So, you know, we just wanted to make sure we do one thing at a time. So we started with this, we're testing it, also getting feedback as we go, and perfecting it as we move. But we're right now on Android. 1st of December is a target to get onto Android, onto iOS. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it was one of the things that we considered when we were developing, that we wanted to be available to all platforms. So we choose a platform that's able to deploy onto iOS, BlackBerry, Windows, even your Java-powered phones, your Nokias, your Symbian.
I'm just wondering why you chose to charge the, I don't know, call it the subject module, instead of just giving a one-time access fee. As I see it, I mean, considering consumer psychology, it would appear as if I'm, you know, fighting away with a lot of money by having to purchase each and every additional items that I need to get to,
It's a good question.
Why not just
one off?
Yeah, one.
And discount the price. You know, for the 10, it's $15. If you were to buy it for the 10 subjects that we've locked there. But what we also realize is when, you know, we're launching it locally, and we've got to be sensitive to the fact that $15 may be an expensive investment for others. But $1.50 is something that someone can part with. Yeah. So we looked at doing it by splitting it into smaller categories, so that, you know, if you're doing maths, physics, and chemistry at A level, you may not want everything. So, you know, you may just need to pick the ones that you want, and then research on that. If you're doing O levels like Form 1 to Form 4, you know, in Form 3 people begin to already decide what they want to drop. So also look at the fact that let's give people the choice to be able to afford where they want to, all right? And then if they want to buy the whole thing, they can buy it for 15. So we didn't look at that. To say if we just discounted it and lumped it together, would we still get that $1.50 client as well? We just wanted to get that one subject. But the cost of the app as well, just to answer you as well, if you think about $15 versus the average university fee per year is now $25,000. If you look at the cost of some of our local educational institutions, even $15 is not quite a bad price to pay for you to explore 500 different careers that you can look at. Whereas I think the other option is you end up finishing, you know, as a parent or as a young student, you're finishing, I don't know what I'm going to do for university, but I have to go to my parents and I have to give them a position. What am I going to study? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do for A-level. So the $15 we assessed as a bit of a fair price for that. But I don't know if I've answered your question. We had to keep the $1.50 entry available, but maybe what we might do is to bundle it, okay, for A-level possible subjects. That could be something that we could look at to say, what are the possible A-level subjects? Let's bundle those and maybe try and reduce the price that way. So that we bunch the popular interests of what people may want to do with them.
Who is your exact target market? Is it the parents or is it the students?
Primarily, it's the students. But this is what we've noticed as we've been doing career guidance. The parents are actually the ones that pull the shots at the end of the day. A child can come home and say, Dad, Mom, this is what I want to do. But unfortunately, the child doesn't pay the fees. So we're finding that the children can get a revelation and understanding and say, hey, I've got it, I want to do this. So it's actually a family solution, if I could express it that way. Because education is a joint investment by the parent, guardian, and the children. That decision of career guidance, 90% of the time is not made by the child alone. It's made by both. But we're saying, hey, you are in Form 1, Form 2. Look at this app, explore what options you want to get into, go home and talk to your parents. But now, we've empowered you, you know, with the tool for you to go home and say, Dad, listen, I think this is me. And the father can say, hey, have you looked at the other career? Why don't you look at that? And it becomes a platform for discussing together.
All right, have you at least gone to some parents and a group of students to find out if others question, you know, if they will be comfortable paying for each subject or if they will be comfortable paying for the whole batch?
We have, and I think we're getting the couple for A-levels, 2 bundles. That's the kind of feedback we've gotten. Others still want the option to say, I want to buy what I want to buy. You know, and you know, one of the things I didn't quite highlight is also the links to universities. You know, you're not just getting the information on the 30 or 40 subjects or careers that are highlighted per subject. You're actually then able to actually drill down and say, I want to become a graphic designer. You know, locally there's a university in South Africa or there's a university here. Let's look at the fees and have a more holistic. So the feedback is we're getting both. You know, some people want to still enter at lower level. Others are saying, why can't you even go to industry? So as we're rolling it out, this is version 1. I think there'll be scope for us to also look at funding some of the things as well.
I didn't understand a bit about why this is better than just doing the web search. Can you go over that again?
Sure. If you're going to go on the website and search 500 careers, number 1, it's going to take you a lot of time. We're just going to go and search. And the information that you may get on the website is not as detailed. And I wasn't able to illustrate it here, but it's not as detailed as what we've been able to do. We've been able to tell you what the career is about, what you require, customized as well to the environment we're in our education system. Our ZIMSEC, which is also British-based, you've been able to then be told what the career you go on to do. So it's going to take you time. Here's the thing. How many people have access to internet in Zimbabwe? Someone in the rural areas might not be able to get access to internet, but now they can at least get this app. And if they can get that app, they can then get it all content off there as well.
Yeah, except your target market are the guys with the smartphones.
It is.
And those are the guys who do have data access. So
what we're doing, maybe to help you bring out of myself, we've got banking partners who are sponsoring schools in the rural areas to sponsor smart devices to areas where we are not able to get the customers to get the actual smartphone devices. So we've got banks that are saying, our key business is to sponsor the schools. They're banking the schools already. So that's a market of what we're focusing on. But you can go on the internet, it's going to take you a lot of time. And the internet doesn't necessarily come in the format that we've done it, and it doesn't necessarily come with the additional benefit of you having universities that are also listed on there. You may just get information on how to become a doctor. It might be based on the Russian or the American educational system. Here, all it is really is, let me explore my options. It's 500 on your fingertips. It's right here. You're not having to, and once you downloaded the app, it's right by your fingertips. So it's relevance and convenience. That's what we're saying.
Where are you getting your content from?
We've researched over different websites.
So you made the content yourself?
Yes, we picked certain information and said, okay, this is what is customized for us here, and then okay, let's look at what do you do after you've gotten a degree. What is the career path?
You did a whole ton of googling and looking.
We've invested the time to then get to this.
Okay, so you've got no ongoing content cost.
No, we don't.
What other costs do you have besides to you?
Well, now, like we were hearing earlier, it's not getting the app out to the public. It's not getting
marketing.
It's marketing, exactly. It's not product awareness, and hence some of the partners that we have now is to try and, it comes with 3 free apps, 3 free subjects.
Yeah.
So if you get it, you're already getting 100 subjects.
But your app is all done, developed, the content's developed, the integration with Pay Now is done.
Done. It's on, if you go on Play Store right now, you can actually download it. Dream Big Careers.
And not iOS yet. But
Not iOS, and Android, yeah.
How are you planning to reach your target market?
We already have products as Dream Big projects that we've already launched into the schools. We have relationships with schools. So our primary partners are actually career guidance teachers. So we've partnered with some of the career guidance teachers. For example, we're in schools like Arundel, Chisbiti, some of the private schools that have tested this for us to see whether it's relevant and whether it makes sense. We've also partnered with educational institutions like the Roman Catholic education. They've got about 500 schools, 250 of them are secondary education. So they've endorsed the product and they're also saying, listen, I think this will answer a lot of questions on that. Radio, in terms of marketing, we have a weekly radio program with Star FM where we reach out and we actually do career guidance to teenagers. So there are various platforms that we're dealing with, but the major one is actually going to the device. We've partnered with Astro, for example. So when everyone is buying a smartphone next year, the phone is now going to come with a flyer and with information on the app. So that while we're aiming to get to the million that have the device, we can get into the new guys that are there now.
Yeah, I mean, because in this case you find the purchaser, who could be the parent,
Yeah.
and the influencer, who could be the student. Your marketing tactics, how are they going to be specifically targeted at those two? Because students on radio, they'll be in school. What is your plan there?
Okay, our radio program is at lunch, so we do catch that traffic for parents when they're picking up kids and also the kids are out of school. But we're also working with schools now where we're saying it's one thing to have a careers day for the students. We're not doing careers days for parents. So we're actually going into schools and saying, listen, it's one thing to talk to the child and say, yes, he's going to go home and he's still going to have a roadblock if the parent is not convinced. So we're now bringing in talks for parents. And that's where that platform is also going to be exchanged, where I can sit and talk to parents. And the bankers as well are banking the parents. So some of the banks have educational funds for parents for the fees. They are also saying, hey, we like your app, we want to refer it so that when they save the money, they save it for a purpose.
So how will you know then that value has been realized from a customer perspective?
I think for us, when a family finally says, you know what, this is what we invested 13 to 15 years of school, was for you to end up finding who you want to be and go and do it. When somebody gets the fulfillment of saying, Mom, Dad, I got it, and I even know how to do it. If I'm going to become an aeronautical engineer, I've looked up on it, I think I need to do this, and this, and here are some of the options of the university. I go, I'm going to do this and I love it. And when we have that aeronautical engineer come back and say, I'm so grateful that I got that information before I went to a university and just got an option of something else to do. That's the picture of success for us.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, is Dream Big currently, is it profitable? And if so, why do you need resources? What do you need the money for concerning this app? What do you need?
I think the main thing would be marketing, because a good idea is a good idea, but I think a bit of money will help to get that awareness, to get people to know it, because they won't just know it. It's going to cost money to get that awareness. That's our first and primary investment point, to be honest. And when you ask about are we profitable, this was launched about 3 weeks ago, but officially about 4 days ago. And we're seeing already the downloads are increasing. And there have been some payments, even this week alone, through Pay Now, where some parents are already purchasing on Pay Now.
These are payments from people you don't know.
I don't know, yeah.
How many?
We've got 3. Yeah. So,
It's
but if you look at it,
bizarre.
we've downloaded 10,
Yeah.
and 3 in 4 days,
Through Pay Now.
they're 10 plus, yeah. It's not like we've got 10 people who
So
downloaded it.
just run me through your numbers again, your revenue line. What just ballpark? How many students? How
Our
much you expect
target
on
is-
average to end up
yeah.
spending?
20,000.
Obviously, also one sort of business. This is not an ongoing subscription. You pay once you bought the content. You've done
There will be updates. When you ask
free,
people,
but free updates, right?
there will be updates even to add more content.
More content.
Yeah, because I've only done a couple of arts and sciences, but there are other areas that the educational system doesn't cover. So we have plans to add on more content. This is just to start off with. But yeah, to
So
answer,
what are the numbers like?
the numbers are, we're aiming for 20,000 downloads
Yeah.
that people are going to pay on average 2 subjects, which is $3. That's our target for...
So everyone that downloads is going to pay $3.
We're assuming right now that we're going to get an average customer spend of $3. And that's 2 subjects.
Okay, so $3 over 20,000.
Yeah, so we're aiming for 60,000 year 1.
Year one.
Yeah. And what we said is, you know what, like the issue of us maybe penetrating through the hardware would be quicker. Because if you buy a phone and the app's already there and you get to know about this, I think there's a greater growth to that.
Well, I feel I'm not really fully answered
Okay.
the question. I believe you have a business that has been running for some
Yes.
time, is that right?
Yeah,
And you now want to add this app.
correct.
Yeah, I was asking if that business has been profitable or is profitable,
Okay.
and what you need this amount for if that business is already profitable. In other words, I'm saying, why didn't you just go ahead and launch the app using your own resources?
Okay, we have 3 products, including this one. We have a diary, a career diary, Dream Big Diary, which we're in the 2nd year of running. That's running profitably because what we're doing, we've already printed the costs and we're selling those. That's the first business I'm in. That's what started Dream Big Projects. Then we extended that to career maps. I just want to give you what we do. And then maybe, I don't know if I'll answer you by explaining the products that we've launched. And then we launched what we call career maps, because the diaries only explain careers and we allow children to write on them. The careers then explain the subjects, you know, maths to the careers, as you've seen today, but it didn't explain what they were. Then the students used it, they said, listen, we don't know what an accountant is. It's nice to tell us that I can become an accountant. I don't know what that is. So we then said, how best to reach a lot of people quicker without them having to go on the internet and search, research. So this is the business model that we now have. So as we speak, we're selling diaries to schools. All right, we printed 5,000 for the 2nd year. We've sold about 2,000 to date. Right, this is our busiest period now, getting into December, because people buy them for January. So it's a quiet period during the middle of the year, but from now until January, a lot of parents, people will be buying the diary side, and it's for younger kids. We're signing on customers for the posters. So we've got corporates that want to invest in schools. Their corporate social responsibility is to say, I want to give back to education, but they don't know how. And I say, hey, you know what? It's no point having these kids learn, and they don't know what they're going to do. So our posters, which didn't have the descriptions, are what we've done as phase 2. But this here now is what we're saying, you know what? It's not just about Zimbabwe, because this app can be downloaded by someone in the UK. We just focused on Zim for now, but the content is actually relevant when you download the app. It gives people information. It allows someone to connect what we're doing in the classroom to what they can do in life. So I don't know if I can answer that as in how much have we made to date, because it's 3 different divisions that we're running. This is not yet profitable because we've just started it. So we've sunk money up front for this one. But now we're expecting the money to come through marketing and advertising. That's what I'm saying, because we've invested to get this app up to where it's at now. We haven't received any money back from that app. But now we're saying, how do we make this app grow and become...
So when do you expect to break even with the costs that you've already incurred?
Yeah, I think we'll break even in year 1. Because the cost of development has been less than 60,000. So we're going to break, in our calculations, we're going to break even in this way, because there are not too many overheads now that the app is on. We're not going to have too many running costs now. A lot of the costs are loaded up front. So in our calculations, you know, I think maybe within the first third of the year, if we reach the target of that 20,000 sort of period, that's what we're looking at. Right. Thank you.